Hi everyone, my name is Phil and welcome to Phil Does 3D. I'm a multimedia and 3D artist and I stream live on Twitch on Mondays and Tuesdays at 5 p.m. Pacific time in the United States, which is 10 a.m. in Australia or 1 a.m. if you're in the UK. Remember though, if you miss the live streams, you can catch up with the premiere event streams on a Friday and Saturday at 2 p.m. Pacific time in the US, 7 a.m. in Australia, or 10 p.m. if you're in the UK. I hope all you guys and girls are well. You had a good weekend. We are going to continue working on our Temple of the Winds you see right here in front of me. We've been making it in 3D Studio Max. We've been texturing it in Substance Painter. Now we're up to the stage where we're taking a couple of the assets into Mari by the Foundry just to do an overpaint on, mainly just to dirty them up a bit. And then we're going to take it into Eon View to do a beauty render. So we'll put it in a full-on 3D environment with grass and trees and flowers and all that sort of good stuff. So I can render out some beauty shots because this model will go for sale on my 3D store. And it's also going to be taken into the game we're working on, The House on the Hollow. So, yep, that's the plan anyway. Sniper Girl, it's good to see you. How are you? Always good to see you. Another art test, hey Sniper Girl? You're in demand. You got your first art test done, now you're on to your second one. Still, I'm sure you'll do a great job because you did a good job on the first art test, so keep us informed as to how it goes. So yes, remember as always guys and girls, if you've got any questions or anything you're not sure about, please feel free to pop into chat and ask me. If I can help you in any way, I'm happy to try. If you just want to pop in and say hello, that's always welcome, but if all you want to do is watch, that's completely fine. Sniper Girl says, bit dead and trying to figure out what to model. How are you? We'll keep you updated. Do keep us updated. Again, jump on the Discord server, guys and girls. If you aren't a member of the Phil Does 3D Discord, you should be. It's a great place to hang out. You can show off your work in the gallery section. You can post links to your art station or your folio in the folio section. Tutorials and tips section there. You can find a link, an invite link below my stream in my panels. There's a blue graphic there that just click that and that'll give you an invite link. You're a bit dead trying to work out what to model though, I can imagine. Smurfberry Barbecue, model a taco, that's right. Good to see you, Smurfberry. Yes, model a taco. No, don't model a taco. They want a gun, I think you said. And I will show people's work on stream if you want me to. If you don't want me to, if you're posting in the gallery, just let me know either in the Discord in a message or while I'm streaming in Twitch chat, and I won't show you stuff because I know not everybody is comfortable, or as in the case of Sniper Girl, she doesn't want to show stuff she's doing for an art test for a game studio, so that's fair enough. Smurfberry says, oh, this is for the new art test. Yeah, I think it is Smurfberry. Sniper Girl says, they sent a ton of sketches. A lot of them are great, but not sure if I want to go with something they sketched or a different gun. Yeah, and Sniper Girl is saying to Smurfberry, yes, another art test, a weapon vehicle artist. I would probably go with what they sent you. I would model from the sketches or the images they sent you. You don't have to, particularly if they said you don't need to. If you've got a better idea, or if you can find a better image or a better something else that you want to make, then by all means probably do that then. But it's probably always a good idea just to model what they've sent you. Sniper Girl says, Smurfberry says, are the sketches any good? Yeah, Sniper Girl says, they said that I didn't need to. Well, if you can find something a bit more interesting then, maybe do something else. The advantage of you doing something else and not the sketch that they've sent you is they won't be able to then compare your model to everybody else's model that has been modeled on that sketch. So that could be a point in your favor. Having said that though, I generally find if they send you an image, they really want you to model on that image. But if they said you don't have to, I don't know. Yeah, I'm just trying to weigh up the pros and cons of each one as to whether you choose something yourself or whether you work on the sketch that they sent you as to what might be better. Because if you model something that's not the sketch, then they can't compare it to the other models from other people that did the sketch. You understand what I mean? But you should be confident enough in your own work that it shouldn't matter anyway. Man, I don't know. Sniper Girl says yes and no. The weapon sketches from people that have never fired a gun. One example is a sawed-off shotgun with 4 barrels and a pistol grip. Would break every bone in your arm if you fired it. Yeah, but you know, if you're making stuff for games, we're supposed to suspend believability when we're playing a game, you know. So that's not so much of a problem. Sniper says law. Sniper Girl says they look great, but not really sure how practical. I think you mean a lot of them are. Yeah, but it's a game, you know. We're meant to suspend belief in a game. When we're playing, the whole reason we play a game is to escape reality anyway. At least that's why I generally want to play a game. So I don't have a problem with that sort of thing. And maybe if you were, you know, like you mentioned, I think in the Discord, if you were playing COD or something, you want a bit more believability, but how believable is COD really anyway? Sniper Girl says, a lot easier said than done. I served 5 years in the military. Oh, yeah, I know. And if you people that have served in the military and actually fired guns, I get it. I get why you could be a little bit... well, I was going to say annoyed, but I don't know if annoyed is the right word. But how you would pick up on that sort of thing a lot more than somebody that doesn't fire weapons in real life. Smurfberry says you could split the difference, start with one of their sketches and correct the deficiencies. That's an interesting idea, Smurfberry. Or make your own twist on their design. Again, another good idea, another interesting idea. Particularly if they've said that they don't particularly want you to follow, or you don't have to follow the sketch they've sent you. It could be a point in your favour to do that. It's hard with these art tests. Generally, they don't do that. Generally, when a studio gives you an art test, they send you the image and they say, reproduce this for us. And they do that so they can compare everybody's work, creating the same looking model to choose who they want to employ. So it's unusual for them to say, oh, you don't have to follow the sketch. Which is good in a way. It means you're getting a bit more leeway from the studio. Sniper Girl says, and I was an engineer too. My job was working on mechanical things, good at figuring out how things work. You and Galen, you two are very similar by the sound of it in your background, because Galen was in the military as well, and I think he was an engineer too. So, spooky. Spooky. But that'd be cool, actually, working as an engineer on mechanical things. Apart from being sent out to war zones, of course. So yeah, I don't know. It's up to you. What do you feel most comfortable with, I guess, Sniper Girl, as to whether you want to create something different from the sketch that they've sent you or recreate the sketch? Or modify the sketch, as Smurfberry says, to make it more believable. If that's... You enjoy what you're doing. I know it's an art test. I know you've got a deadline. But the whole point of us being artists in 3D modelling is to enjoy what we do. So stress aside of deadlines, you really, make what you like. That's basically, I think, what I'm trying to say, and not doing it very well, as usual. Smurfberry says Galen's a Harrier alternate reality sniper girl. A Harrier alternate reality sniper girl. Galen's certainly hairy. I don't know if you guys are regulars to my stream will know what Galen looks like, but anyone that's not, Galen's got this serious beard going on. I mean, it's a serious beard. It suits him. It looks really cool. He was featured in one of the Twitch videos when one of the Twitch cons, I think. They were panning through the audience and he was shown in one of their videos, which is cool. Sniper Girl says, we'll figure it out. Going to start modelling tomorrow. Figure stuff out today. That sounds like a good plan. Yes, that does sound like a good plan. So, let us start sending some stuff over to Mari so we can do an overpaint. Last week we did a bit of a dirtying up of these bits along the bottom of the terrace. And today, or for now, let's send, I think, these steps over. I just want to dirty them up a little bit more. So what are they called? They're called main steps. Go figure. Who'd have guessed? So let us create a new project in Mari. And we're going to call it main steps. And I keep hitting the wrong keys. Do you guys do that when you type on the keyboard? You're typing away and you accidentally hit the key beside the one you want? I do it all the time. Or is it just me? It's just me, isn't it? All right. Now, we should have already exported this as an FBX file when we were doing the painting in Substance Painter. Sniper Girl says, if I do something from the sketch, I won't be able to post anything on Discord. No, that's fair enough. Not sure if those sketches are from a game that's currently under development or what. No NDA, but don't want to take the risk. That's perfectly understandable. And that's the reason I haven't shown Sniper Girl's storefront that she created for the other art test on stream, just in case the studio wouldn't like it. And that's all fair enough. And like I said to you guys, if you don't want me to show something you post in Discord, I won't. But yeah, if it's a sketch from the game studio for the gun, you're probably wise not to post it in Discord, just to be on the safe side, Sniper Girl. We'll just have to imagine what it is you're creating. So we're going to choose the FBX file we used for our export to Substance Painter. Everything else should be good, so let's create a new project. Yeah, NDAs are funny things as well. If you sign an NDA, guys and girls, make sure you don't talk about it publicly because, you can get into huge amounts of trouble if you've signed an NDA. It's important not to talk about stuff that you said you wouldn't. Very important. Sniper Girl says, I'll ask for permission and all when done. Well, that's okay. Yeah, that sounds cool because I'd love to see it. And yeah, so if they give you permission, then that would be very cool. See what they say. It's normal to ask for permission too, because you might want to put it in your portfolio. So it's good to ask whether that's going to be an issue for them or not, if you post it online in your portfolio and stuff. Generally, studios for an art test, after they've given you approval, generally they will let you do it. Some might not. Because I know with the game that the studio is developing, that me and the studio, or the studio and I, proper English, are developing, the composer asked me if he could post his compositions that he's creating for the game on his SoundCloud and things like that, and I didn't have a problem with that. He can't sell the stuff that he's making for us commercially, but we as the studio didn't have a problem with him uploading the actual music to his SoundCloud for his portfolio. So I know that's not graphics, but it's the same sort of thing. But he does have an NDA. He can't talk about the game. Sniper Girl says, yeah, there's a couple of art tests that I have under NDA, still not allowed to post. Yeah, well, I'm the same. I've done work for the defence industry in this country, and there's some government work that I've worked on as well, where either for national security interests or whatever, I'm not allowed to actually post it to my portfolio either. Geez, you're taking a while, Murray. So I get that. I can't show some stuff either. And in fact, even when I go for a job interview, I can't talk about my work for defence or for some of the government work either. You can't even mention it. You can say, I did some work with the Defence Force, that's it. No further discussion. You can't say anything more. So it's always annoying when you create something really cool that you'd love to put in your portfolio, but they won't let you. What can you do? Because you are in effect making that model for the studio, so something to keep in mind. Even though it's your model and you put all the work into it, You are actually, in effect, making it for the studio, so even though they're not paying you. But that's why a lot of studios don't mind. Smurfberry says, I did something like that too. Can't put it on the internet, so they'll kill me. That's right. If you talk about it, they'd have to kill you. Yeah, so that's pretty common. I'm just going to bring the texture that we created for this so we can overpaint it and see what the original texture is so we get a better idea where we need to overpaint. Smurfberry says, surprisingly, they said it was okay to bring a physical printout to interviews, though. I've never gotten that. They've always said, don't talk about it. They made me sign all these documents, legal documents, with threats of being locked up. Greetings to you, Cookie. It's good to see you, Cookie. How are you? Did you have a good weekend? Been working on anything interesting, Cookie? It's okay if you haven't. Not everyone wants to work all the time. I get that. Base color, that's the one we want. Okay. Now I'm just trying to work out. I'm just going to might switch this back to a basic. I'm just finding the glow a little bit annoying. If I switch it to full, see how you get that sort of that glowy highlight on it? I'm finding that distracting. So I think if we switch it back to flat or basic, we'll go with basic. It does darken it, man. Yeah, that's a bit annoying actually. It darkens it up a bit too much for me. I'll find it more difficult to. No, let's go back. I'll just have to put up with it. Because I need to blend the dirt layer in, and if it's too dark, that'll be more too difficult. But it's good to see you, Cookie. You're all right? Programming stuff mostly? Well, that's cool. Programming's cool. Although personally, you know, I do some programming now and again. I'm not saying I'm great at it, but I do some now and again. I find after a while I have to stop programming because it just does my head in, particularly if there's a problem that I can't fix. Whereas when I do 3D stuff, it's sort of like I can zen out. Programming, I have to think a lot more. I think that's what I'm trying to say. Sniper Girl says, just emailed people from the environment art test, asked if I could have permission to post images. Good you hear. Always do ask before you do it, but it's always good to ask. Because it is your work after all. Never forget that. You put all the work into making it, but don't be surprised if sometimes they say, no, we don't want you to put it in your portfolio. Because that does happen. Excuse me being a bit distracted here. I'm just checking on some emails that have come through from work. Okay, you have my attention again. Cookie says, likewise, I tend to do art when my brain gets too fried. It does, doesn't it? It can be exhausting doing programming. It can be absolutely exhausting. And like I said, particularly if you have a problem that a bug you can't find or fix. And I don't know if it's the OCD in me, but I just sometimes just can't let it go. If there's this bug that I can't work out in the code, until I can work it out, I can't do any, you know, it occupies my entire brain all the time. Really annoying. Sniper Girl says my work and no NDA, so no real obligation legally. Bigger best to ask testing. Well, it's good courtesy to ask. I think that's the important thing to remember. I know it's your work and I know you're not under NDA. That's all valid. fair enough points. But it doesn't hurt to ask. You send an email, how much of a chore is that? And it shows you're considerate, that, you know, you're willing to ask before you actually do. It's always a good thing. I'm just going to bring in my dirt layers, and that's the wrong one. I want dirt and graffiti, that's the one. And I'm just going to bring them all in. Sniper Girl says, honestly, programming is pure voodoo to me. Yeah, we were talking about this the other day, and I mentioned programming as an example for me. UV mapping was the same. That's what we were originally talking about last week or the week before. It can take a little while to get your head around how UV mapping works, and it can take a little while to get your head around how programming works. But once you get your head around it, then everything sort of falls into place like a jigsaw puzzle. But it's just getting over that initial hump of working out, figuring out in your head how it works. That's the hard part. Cookie says, not for everyone. That's what, you know, it's not. I mean, a good friend of mine is a software engineer, and he's been a software engineer for about 25 years, maybe longer. And he's a very good software engineer, but he hates it. He absolutely hates it. It's very stressful. You know, it's very exhausting having to try and code all the time. So I get why people might grow out of love with it after a while. But it's a good skill to have, particularly in this day and age with with technology, whether it's, you know, AI, driverless cars, programming for the web, programming apps. There's just so much programming work around. Cookie says it's one of those things you could spend 10 years learning and still be a noob. Well, and it changes all the time, Cookie. Have you found that? They're constantly updating versions of Java or PHP or whatever it is that you program in. They're constantly inventing new scripting languages for you to learn. It's just never ending. Games development is very much the same. It can be exhausting too, because it's constantly being refined and improved and updated with every new engine version, whether it's UE4 or Unity or whatever the engine is. If you work in games, it's a constant battle to stay on top of all the new stuff that happens. But if you love what you do, then, you know, it doesn't feel like a chore to keep up with it all, but it can be exhausting. Sniper Girl says that you know that programming is something that AI will be able to do themselves. Pretty well. That's true. Eventually they will. That's an area that AI could probably do quite well. They missed about 5 or 10 years ago. It was very big to have like a node-based programming language. Blueprints in the Unreal Engine, that's a good example of like a node-based programming, where you don't really do programming, you use these nodes to make code. It's a more user-friendly version of programming for people that don't like programming or don't like staring at text on a screen. Blueprints, Epic Games Blueprint system, that's a really good, and it's a great system by the way too. Blueprints, but that's a good way to get people to create some code that don't have to actually code. And of course, you can always get into the nuts and bolts of C# in the background if you really want to. You can fire up Visual Studio or whatever and code that way. Smurfberry says, programming still doesn't click in my brain. It takes a little while, Smurfberry, but eventually it will, I promise. It will click. And once it's clicked for one programming language, you can apply it then to all the others, because they're all pretty much the same, you know. They're all based on the same sort of underlying structure. I think that's what I'm trying to say. They're not the same, but yeah. Once you know how to do one, the others aren't too bad. Sniper Girl says, node-based programming Unreal-wise started with Kismet in Unreal 3. Well, there you go. But they've improved it dramatically with blueprints in UE4. I'm not sure does Unity have anything like blueprints? I've not used Unity. Smurfberry says, with great difficulty I can sometimes stumble through some scripting, but my brain can't handle how abstract it is. And it gets exhausting. It does get exhausting, I have to admit. I'm just going to throw a new layer down here so we don't destroy the original, and we can turn it on and off and do all that sort of stuff we want. So it's a new layer button just there. Cookie says, yeah, forgot about Kismet. They're assets with node-based scripting. Cookie says they do have a node-based shader editor. Oh, okay. Sniper Girl says, I believe there's a node-based programming plugin you can buy for Unity, I'm assuming they're saying. Okay. A little annoying that they want you to buy it, not include it in Unity. Yeah, it's a bit annoying. I'm just looking for a texture here I can use to overpaint this. Cookie says they do have a node-based shader. Sorry, I'm rereading what I've already read. Cookie says, talking about Unity, U-Bolt is the popular one. U-Bolt is the popular one. Well, there you go. Again, I've heard good things about Unity. I haven't actually used Unity. I've only used UE4 recently. I've not played with Unity, is what I'm trying to say. Again, not doing a very good job of it. But I do love UE4, I have to admit. And the new version of Unreal Engine 4.23 was released last week. Just putting that out there for people. If they do use Unreal, and there is that new version that's been released, and they've made a lot of it. Actually, the change list and the updates on it are quite extensive. So they have done quite a bit of work on the new version. They've improved like real-time ray tracing and a whole range of other stuff though. I did install 4.2.3 last night, but I haven't actually opened my current project in it because Adobe Substance plugin for UE4, they haven't updated it yet. So until they update it, I can't really load my project up, the game project that we're making, because it uses Substance plugin. It's one of those reasons I said to you guys I don't like to buy marketplace plugins for Unreal, because you're at the bequest of the plugin authors to actually update their code before you can use it in a new version, and I don't like having to wait. I'm impatient. I don't like having to wait. I didn't have much of a choice with Substance though, unfortunately, so I'm just going to have to wait. Cookie says Unity will have their own preview by the end of the year. Oh, good, because they really should have it built into the engine. Sniper Girl says, how is the latest version? Yeah, I haven't used it. I've only installed it, haven't run it yet. Sniper Girl says, ended up using 4.22.3, which is the one I actually have both installed. So all the guys working on the game, The House on the Hollow, we keep the old version installed. So 4.22.3 is still installed on all the machines, but 4.23 has been installed but not used yet until Substance update the plugin. And Sniper Girl says, I ended up using 4.22.3 for the art test, was kind of stuck and wasn't allowed to update. Why weren't you allowed to update? Yeah, my advice to anyone using any game engine, if you're making a game that you plan to put out there and so is to not uninstall the old version when a new version comes out. So keep them both. It's going to take up space on your hard drive, but hey, we've all got terabytes of hard drive space now, haven't we? Because you don't have to install it on an SSD, you can install it on a normal hard drive. Keep both versions installed. That way, if the unexpected happens and there is an issue with the new version, you're not sort of stuck. Particularly if you're making a game and you have deadlines and stuff, you don't want that to happen. But I've also said too that once you get so far into a game's development, you really should lock down the engine version and not update it, because new updates can break stuff. And I've been actually reading on the Epic Games forum of a couple of people saying that Epic changed. I've not used it, but there's a blueprint or an in-editor button or something that you can use in the viewport, a blueprint that they've depreciated. which has broken anyone that used that code. So things like that happen quite a lot between new versions of an engine, which is why it's always wise not to update unless you really, really need to. And that's why once you get to a certain point in the development of the game, don't update anymore. Lock it down to that version of the engine, and that way you won't have any unexpected problems. I'm just wondering whether this might be okay. We can test it, and if I don't like it, then we can remove it. So we're on a new layer. I'm just going to start painting this down. In fact, I've just switched to my tablet pen. It's just a little bit easier and less noisy than mouse clicks happening all the time. Sniper Girl says version of the studio I was doing the art test was... Oh, okay. And again, yeah, fair enough. If they have a specific version that they're using, I can understand why they want you to use that version, so they can bring it in and have a look at your work. And that could be another reason, like I said, why they're using maybe the version wasn't actually the version probably wasn't officially released when they gave you the art test, but it wouldn't be surprising either that they lock whatever they're doing down to version 4.22. That would not surprise me. Okay, press B to bake it down. Let's move this one over a bit. Sniper Girl says, using a later version of Unreal, you can't downgrade it. No, you can't. You can upgrade, convert, just not the other way around. Yeah, that's right. So once you've converted your assets to the new version of the engine, you can't go back to the old version. What we do with the game studio with the game that we're making, what we do is we keep the old version on file, like 4.22, and install 4.23, but we also duplicate the actual file that we use for the game. So all of the assets and stuff, the whole project folder, we duplicate that and use that in the new version. So we've still got the old version if we need to go back. So just sort of double checking, just making sure, doubly sure by not overwriting the old original project folder, just duplicating the project and using the duplicated folder to load into the new version of the engine. So that's the safest way to work. Let's press B to bake that down. Just going to move that off to the side for a minute. And I think the first thing we're going to do... I'll throw an invert on, I'll see if I like it. If I don't like it, I'll remove it. Do I want to do an invert? No, I don't want to do an invert. What else we got here? What else? Make sure our level's down. I'm just going to dock this over here. Then don't do that. Just playing with my levels here to see if I can get something I like the look of. Why put it down here? I was just wondering why the shelf has put the they're like that on all of them. Okay, I'm used to the shelf being at the top, but maybe that's because it's substance painted and Murray puts them at the bottom. Confused me. Sniper Girl says it's a minigun, technically an SMG. They have a cool looking one on their sketch that I might do, just not sure if it qualifies. Sniper says pretty sure a minigun is a cannon. Okay, I've just turned the levels off temporarily. I just want to see if there's another adjustment layer that might be more interesting. So let's see if we can't find something else. Brap to you too, Smurfery. Actually, before we do an adjustment layer, let's go through the blending modes here, see if we can use something that's more interesting. You know, if I actually have to throw up the B-Rate back screen abruptly, guys, it's because I'm expecting a delivery. So I apologise in advance if my B-Rate back screen seems to go up out of nowhere. That's because the buzzer will go off and I'll have to go and sign for the delivery. So I'll only be gone a couple of minutes while I race down the front of the building and pick it up. I'm ordering a new power supply for the main computer, so that's what I'm waiting on. I'm upgrading the power supply to a bigger capacity, so I'm going from 550 watts to 750 watts. And that's going to be fun because it means I'm going to have to pull the machine out, disconnect the current power supply, swap it out with a new one. But then I won't have to worry about it again for a while. They recommend you upgrade your power supply. Well, they change you replace your power supply about every 7 years or so. Generally power supplies have a mean time before failure of 100,000 hours. Which is about 10 years, and they just get less efficient the older they get, the power supply. So, yeah, always a good thing to replace your power supply if you've been using it for quite a while, because remember, it's the thing that powers every other piece of equipment in the computer. It's really, really an important piece of the PC. It's probably one of the most important pieces. That's why you should always make sure you buy a decent brand power supply as well. But for that reason, that, you know, if you buy a cheap power supply and it powers every other piece of stuff in your machine, and it has a problem, like it overcurrents or has ripple, or it can cause all sorts of issues. It can even destroy your motherboard if it's bad enough. And if it doesn't have the proper protections built into it. So yeah, that's the other reason I'm changing it out. It's because the power supply that's in there now, even though it's a good brand, it's an Antec, the one that's in there. It's like 8 years old now, so it needs to be replaced. It still functions perfectly. You see me using the computer now, but I just don't want to risk it. So, and going to a bigger wattage power supply means that if I do want to swap it out for anything in the future that might be like maybe a new graphics card will draw more power, I won't have that problem. So I'm getting more watts than I need at the moment, in case in the future I need more watts. This might be interesting. Let's see if we can pull this back a bit. I just like the fact that we've got a bit of colour happening in here. Just makes it a little bit more interesting. We're going to be doing a few layers, so don't judge it on just this one texture layer. Just want to knock it back a bit. I don't want it too in your face. Let's throw down another layer and grab another texture. What's this one look like? This one might be interesting. So we're on a new layer. Good. Grab my pen again. I think actually for this one, what I'm going to do before I start painting too much of it down, just going to bake that, is I'm going to do an adjustment invert on this one right off the bat. There we go. And let's continue. Actually, this is not... I don't think this is actually going to work for what I want. That's very annoying. You don't have to dock these panels. You see that it fades away once I move my mouse away from it. So if if you don't want to dock them, you can move them into the viewport, work on them, and then when you move off of them, they just disappear. Let me just move this out of the way for a minute. Very odd. Which is not giving me an invert that I would expect. Let's change the blending layer. Maybe that's the problem. It could very well be. Yep, that's fine. Alright, let's keep going. In fact, I'm just also going to... oh no, we'll keep going and then I'll make the adjustment. Press B to make it down. Move that out of the way. Let's just change the blending a little bit. Not behaving how I would expect it to. Let's look at a different blending mode. You know what, I don't like that. I'm going to remove that. Yes, I'm going to delete that layer. Let's see if we can't work out what's going on here. The invert should have worked for what I want, but it just doesn't seem to be. Let's see if there's another texture here that might be better. Maybe. No. Maybe. Not quite. No. 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 I'll find one eventually, I'm sure. Maybe. Let's give this one a test. Run a new layer, good. Just going to paint a bit in and then I'm going to see what sort of blending mode I can get happening here. B to bake it down. The invert is not working the way I would expect it to. So that's what I'm having an issue with here at the moment. It's not inverting correctly. You know what? I'm going to just quickly, I think, jump into Photoshop. Because I'm having an issue with the invert in the actual software of Mari, I'm going to do an invert in Photoshop. So let's find a texture here I like. Might go back to the original one we're working with. That's interesting. Yeah, no, I think we might go back to this one. No, I see. Okay, just let me see if there's something a little bit better. Let's have a look at this one. Probably not ideal. Let's see if there's anything better. Nope. This one might be interesting. Maybe. I know in my head what I want. I'm just trying to find something here that's close to what I have in my head. Let's export. I'm just going to save this out, and we'll bring it in and see if it'll work. I'm just going to rename this one the same name but underscore INV for inverted. And it's tile for heavy number 17. That one, let's bring that in. Where did it put it? Where did it put it? I'm just going to keep that layer there, and I'm going to use this as an experiment layer to see if I can't get something I like. So actually I have an invert on this, I think, do I? Just going to turn the invert off. I'm just going to do an overpaint here, really rough and messy, because we're going to delete this layer in a minute anyway. I'm just trying to get a blend that I like. Android Lust, it's good to see you, Android Lust. How are you? Good evening to you too, and morning as well. It's morning for me. Sniper Girl says, have you guys seen the rating on Steam for the new NBA 2K game? No, what is it? Yes, Android Lust says, why is it bad? Overwhelmingly negative. Is it just bad, or are people just trolling? Hambone, good to see you, Hambone. The Hambone says, it seems like all AAA games on Steam always have the bad reviews now. They haven't made it an exclusive to the Epic Games Store. No, obviously not if it's on Steam. People tend to tend to negatively do things on Steam, which goes to be, if a developer wants to put it exclusively on Epic Games, they negative their games that are on Steam. Yes, hello to you too, Hambones. Smurfberry says, assuming the Valve review bombing feature is functioning, that would mean it's legit reviews. Yes, because Valve supposedly fixed that, or changed it so that people couldn't do that anymore. Negatively review bomb, that is. Android Lost says, oh, I see it. Sniper Girl says, reading the comments, people complaining everything from shoddy gameplay, bad graphical glitches, and overdoing microtransactions. Yes, microtransactions is a way to get hate from the community pretty much straight off the bat. For good reason, because it's bad. Microtransactions suck. Sniper Girl says, I'm reading reviews from people with an average of 10 hours of gameplay recorded. It's not good. Well, they're legitimate people then that are complaining. You know, if they got 10 hours of gameplay, that isn't people trolling. That's legit people saying it, you know, they don't like it. The Hembone says, but who plays for 10 hours and hates? That's a good point. That's a very good point, Hembone. Who does play for 10 hours and then decides they don't like it? Because you can usually tell, after the first hour of a game whether you're going to like it or not. So yes, that's a very good point, Hembone. Sniper Girl says, the few good ratings I found, really the only good reviews were 10 out of 10. They put a basketball minigame in one of the best gambling simulator games on Steam. Android Lust says, one reviewer has 548.4 hours and hates it. Oh, come on. Who plays a game for that long just to turn around and say that they hate it? They're trolling. They're just trolling. I'm just turning this layer on and off to get an idea of what we're doing. Alright, let's just throw a little bit more of this in. Again, this is subtle. I'm just doing a bit of a dirt layer here. Subtle dirt. Bake that down. Sniper Girl says, and also I'm a gambling addict. Don't gamble, guys and girls, it's bad. It's bad. You'll lose money. I can guarantee it. Gambling is bad. Smokeberry says, did you know there's a gambling subculture on Twitch? Yeah, I heard about that. I think that's bad too. Twitch should not allow that sort of thing. Mind you, I mean, haven't people been posting pornography to Twitch as well? They've been streaming porn. Didn't that happen on what's his name's channel once he left Twitch to go to Mixer? Can't remember his name. One of the really well-known streamers on Twitch who used to be on Twitch, and then left to go to Mixer. Apparently, he got some big payout from Microsoft to go and stream exclusively on Mixer. But once he'd left, his channel page was still active or something, and people were streaming pornography under his account or under his something to do with his channel. You can't stream porn on Twitch, guys and girls. Don't do it. It is disturbing, Smurpery. I agree. Android Lost says gamers who buy loot boxes. Smurpery says it's no actual gaming on virtual slot machines and stuff. Smurf says Twitch isn't cracking down on it. Well, that's a shame. Twitch should. Android, because there's a lot of kids that watch Twitch. I mean, we're adults. Okay, fair enough. We know better. But there are a lot of kids that watch Twitch. So Twitch should not allow gambling streams on Twitch, because children should not be gambling. Android Lust says, interesting, didn't know that. Cookie says, Ninja, that's right, Cookie, Ninja was his name, that's right. I never watched him, but apparently he was a big Fortnite, was it, streamer, I think? Sniper Girl says, that was the rating on Steam. I've scrolled down through over 200 reviews, haven't found another positive rating. Wow. Wow. Well, then I guess the game just sucks. Apart from those people that have played it for 542 hours and then say it sucks. I think I call BS on that. BS, I say. Where'd you go? Why you not show up? What's going on? There we go. Let me move that up. Sniper Echo, good to see you, buddy. How are you? What you been up to? What's going on, Sniper Echo? What have you been doing? It's good to see you though. I hope you're well. Okay, we're on a new layer. I'm just gonna, again, I'm gonna do an overpaint here on a bit, and then I'm gonna jump back and look at the mixing. Let's move that all. Okay. Let's rotate this around. But it's good to see you, Sniper Echo. Andrew Luss says there must have been an update that made people really hate the game. You're good. That's good to hear, Sniper Echo. Sniper Echo says, hey Phil, I'm good, thanks. Working hard. The show I'm working on may be going to Vienna, so working on prep for that. Oh, okay, cool. So are you in Germany at the moment, Sniper Echo, or are you still in Ireland? Just trying to catch up with where you are in the world. Are you back in Germany? Okay. Sniper Girl says to Sniper Echo, a bit dead to be honest, just got done with the art test yesterday. So yeah, no, that sounds really interesting, the work you're doing for that show, and the role you're doing in that show. It sounds really cool. Why? Why you do this? Oh, damn it. Damn it. Damn it. Damn it. I wonder if that's a visual glitch in the program. Germany's supposed to be a lovely place as well, so... Sniper Girl says, going to get some sleep tonight and hit it hard tomorrow. Android Lost says, what, you actually sleeping? Again, let me get my act together here. What am I doing? What is going on here? I'm wondering if that's a visual glitch happening in the program. Just going to bake that down and do a bit more testing here. Yeah, it does. It looks like there's just a visual glitch going on. Again, I'm not sure why Mari is behaving like that. So... I'm just painting it in so I can try and work out exactly what Mari is doing. Once it's baked down, it seems fine. It's just the initial paint, it seems to be having a bit of an issue. So this was our test layer, so that's okay. We can just remove this layer. Throw down a new layer. And let's start doing a bit of painting. Nightbot spamming my links as usual. My apologies, guys. And Sniper Girl says, to Android Lust do have batteries, but sometimes are required to be shut down for them to charge all the way. Android Lust says, anyway, a well-rested mind is good for one. It is. Sniper Girl says, honestly, unemployed currently. My full-time job right now is trying to find a job. With the art test, been focusing all of my time on the art test, was pretty much eating at my desk to do work on the previous one. Next one will probably be the same. The environment art test, I did 12 to 14 hours a day working on it. Well, again, you know, I can't judge or chastise because I tend to do the same sort of thing, but it's not good for your health. You want to make sure you're eating correctly at the very least, and take breaks occasionally, because sitting at a desk for 14 hours without getting up and moving around is really bad for your blood circulation. So that occupational health and safety thing again. Always get up and move around. That's why you see me, even in the 2 hours while I stream to you guys, I'm constantly sort of moving around. Survived 2 deployments in the Navy. You got this? I guess that's true. If you can live through the Navy, then you should be fine. I'm having a real issue today with this program and just getting something I like and getting it to behave the way I want it to. Sniper Girl says, and I did get up and walk around quite a bit. It wasn't long breaks, but I did take them when I felt like they were needed. Well, that's good. Android Lust says, going to post a little something I completed today in Discord. Cool, I'll check it out. Sniper Echo says, yep, I do 30k steps a day minimum, 30,000, plus try to rebuild part of an engine or something to relax. And it's important to do stuff to relax as well. Although I find 3D modelling pretty relaxing, I have to say. I'm just checking out the Discord here, people posting in the Discord, because remember guys, again, if you haven't joined the Phil Does 3D Discord, you're new to my channel, you should. Join the Discord server. That's the link I've just popped in chat. And I always have Discord open with Twitch chat open so I can see if you post in Discord. So I'm just checking what's going on in the Discord here. Android Lust has posted a couple of very nice renders. He's posting quite a few. Let's just check out. Let me pause this for a minute because this program's starting to give me the shits. And we'll just check out some of this stuff that Android Lust has posted that he's working on. Again, if you want to know more about me and who I am and what I do, you can go to my website, phildoes3d.com, and you can read up about me here. What is going on there? It's very strange. There we go. You can go to my website, read up about me here. There's links to my social media on ArtStation and YouTube and Twitter and all that sort of stuff. But I want to look at Android Lust's work. Just going to copy the link. So Android Lust has posted this in the gallery section on the Discord server. I'm just going to open all the links up and then we'll go through them and look at them one by one. He's got this really cool looking gun as well. Laser gun. Okay, that's so cool. I love the composition, the silhouette, like how you pose the character. It looks really cool. Really cool. And I love the model and I love the texturing work as well. A really nice job. The detailing going on in the helmet here. The dirt on the on his shirt and his pants. It looks really cool. And again, really nice composition. Like the pose, really nice character pose. That's what I'm trying to say. It renders nice as well. I love it. Love it. These are some model shots here. Nice clean topology, which is cool. Always good. Yeah, really nice work. I love it. On his pogo stick. And then we have some shots of the blaster itself. Yeah, it looks really good. The gun reminds me a little bit of I don't know if you guys ever watched a cartoon called Jimmy Neutron. But it looks really cool. And very nice work here. Very, very nice. You've done an excellent job. An excellent, excellent job, Android Lust. You should be proud of it. Looks great. Android Lust says, generally if I spend a long time working on a PC, I make sure to stretch mainly my back and hands. Yeah, I'm the same. Which is why you see me stretching here. I like to stretch out my back. But it's good just to get up and just you don't have to walk around. You don't have to take a break for like half an hour if you don't want to. Just a couple of minutes walking around just to get the circulation flowing again. Sniper Girl says, I also find 3D modelling relaxing. Yeah, I do too. Sniper Echo says to Sniper Girl, I use the time when he's doing his 30k steps to mentally pre-visualize stuff I'm working on. I find saves a lot of time. Yeah, it's always good to work stuff out in your head. Which is what I used to have arguments when I was at university. They were very big on doing storyboarding. Now, storyboarding is really important. It does help you work out the sequence of events you want to show, whether that's for a film or for an animation or whatever. But I always used to find it really annoying because generally with storyboarding you sketch out the storyboards. So I used to find, I found it a waste of time sketching out storyboards because I could work it out in my head. And I could do it much faster than it would take me to draw out, a series of storyboards. And I used to have arguments with the lecturers all the time about it because they wanted you to sketch the storyboards out. Storyboarding is old-fashioned. You shouldn't need to storyboard anymore. I mean, some people might, but generally you can work shots out in your head. You don't need to storyboard them. At least that's what I find. I'm not saying storyboarding is not good for everyone, but I found it annoying. And the exercise passes in no time. Well, that's true, and the exercise is important and good. You got a decent action pose, Android Lust. It does. It looks really cool. Really cool. Sniper Girl says, I remember Jimmy Neutron. And I tend to work stuff out as I go. That's what Sniper Girl says. Yeah, I'm the same. Smokeberry says, there was a kid in my high school who transferred in. His name was Jimmy. He said, call me Neutron. I used to like his friend. I can't remember his friend's name. The one that sang the song Moon, Moon, Moon. He was good value. Because I like cartoons. Just because I'm an adult doesn't mean I don't watch cartoons. But again, great work, Android Lost. Thanks for letting me show it on stream too. And thanks for posting it in the Discord server. That's why I like another cartoon called Adventure Time. I watch that quite a bit when I've got time. With Jake. Jake the dog and Finn the human. Sniper Echo says, yeah, I can't storyboard. I have to work stuff out mentally. Storyboards, yeah, they're too slow. I agree. Slow, I get why it's good. You know, again, and it is good for groups because, you know, you can't work in a group with just the idea in your head. You need some way to show people what it is. So, yeah, no, I'm not saying storyboards aren't useful. I just found that when I was at uni and I was doing a project that only involved me, having to waste so much time sketching out storyboards was a pain. Mercury says he later denied saying that though after the shiny new kid period wore off and people started to be annoyed by him and bullied him. Don't bully people. It's not good to bully anyone. Bullying is bad. I don't know, kids can be cruel though, can't they? Kids can be cruel. Smurpery says, but he was the cool kid for a few months. Oh well, at least he got a few months worth out of it, I guess. Yeah, I really can't get this to work the way I want it to today. I don't know why. Android Lost says to Sniper Girl, the hand braille looks filthy. I love it. Sniper Girl says, thanks, made us several different grunge details for the same. Yes. I can't get my mixing work right today. My mixing just won't work properly. Won't work the way I want it to. I know what I'm trying to do and it just won't do it. Actually, let's pull it up. That would probably help so we can see it. Sniper Girl says, wanted to look like you needed a tetanus shot if you ended up using the handrail. Which is good. We like it dirty. Dirtier the better. Textured, that is. Why? No, there's really nothing. There is an adjustment layer that I want. Let's do it this way. Let's see if I can get a better result doing it this way. Again, this is going to be our test layer. I'm going to remove it once I've worked out what the problem here is. You see what it's doing here? It's not quite behaving the way it should. So it's very odd. I wonder if it's because this mesh... No, it shouldn't be a problem. I was going to say the mesh... This is the mesh we brought into ZBrush to do a bit of sculpting on. I'm just wondering if that's causing an issue. Or if it's an issue with the original model export. We're going to remove that layer. I'm determined to get something I like here. I am determined. Throw down a new layer. Let's do a quick overpaint, see if I can't find something I like. Bake that down. Make that down. Android Lost says, I had a question about your textures. Oh, Sniper Girl. Not even talking to me. Okay. Break that down. Let's see if we can't get a mix happening that I find acceptable. The look I'm going for here is I'm trying to get that look. Do you know sometimes with stone that's been out in the weather for quite a while, you start to get like, particularly like a limestone, it can start to sort of excrete white. Not white, but yeah, you get this like build up happening on stonework sometimes. It's not lichen or anything like that. It's just like it leaches stuff out of the stone. That's sort of like the look I'm trying to go for here. Smurfberry says that's called effluence, is it? Smurfberry says it's water penetrating and leaking minerals. Well, there you go. Okay, let's throw down another layer. Let's find something else, and I think after this layer that should be enough layers for these steps. As long as I find something I like. Yeah, I like the texture, but I don't like these lines in it over here. Again, I like the texture, but I don't particularly like the lines. I could overpaint the lines, I guess. That's always an option. Yeah, we might do that. So we're on a new layer. Let's just lay down this line. Efflorescence. That's a new word. I've never heard of that before. Let's just bake that down. Move this out of the way. And let's see if an adjustment layer on this one looks any good. The adjustment layers are not behaving the way that they should be. Why is that? Yeah, there's something a bit strange going on here. I've removed the adjustment layer, but it's still showing up for some reason. Why? Okay. We don't want that adjustment there. No. No. Sniper Girl says, "Well, can see why they painted the building so many times? How long does it normally take to hear back from a studio regarding an art test?" That really does depend on the studio, I guess, and their workload. It's sort of hard to give a one-time fits all sort of thing. It shouldn't take too long, I wouldn't have thought. Because what they will have done is they will have shortlisted people that they send the art test out to, and then they'll compare everyone's work from the art test, and then contact people after that. So, but I shouldn't imagine that would take them too long. RYRYB says, so dependent on the studio, some studios are quick and some are not so quick. It's good to see you, RYRYB. But yeah, it does just depend on the studio, really. Yes, that's right, as Snapper Girl says. I guess she'll find out when she finds out. You will. I'm wondering if the problem I'm having here too is because of that gloss we've got happening here. I wonder. It's just not giving me the look that I'm going for. That's what I'm having an issue with. Let me just change the blending mode here. I might just export this and see what it looks like in Max. We'll take it from there. So I'm just going to export flattened. Where are we? Main steps. New folder, we'll call it painted. And we're going to call it main steps painted, and we're going to save it as a PNG. Main steppos. There we go. Okay, it's again, I keep forgetting we're working in 16-bit color, so we're going to save it as a Photoshop PSD file. Again, let's jump into Photoshop. I either should change it back into an 8-bit mode in Mari or work in a different file format, I guess. Temp, substance, main steps, painted. Let's throw an adjustment on the gamma. I think it was a gamma of 2, is that correct? Let me just open the original steps here so I can check. No, I think gamma of 2.5. Let's try gamma of 2.5. Just waiting for that to save out. Almost there. You can't see the little bar moving behind me. The little blue bar down there. Come on, Photoshop. There we go. Let's jump back into 3D Studio Max. Give Max a minute to get its head together. And jump into the materials. Find the steps, which is this one here. Oh, okay, version 2. I actually think I might have loaded the wrong color map up. I think I did, you know. It's okay, let's just check it. It's easy and quick for me to change it if I did. I have a feeling I did. Yeah, I did. This was a darker version. Remember when we painted the steps up? We had a darker and a lighter version. This is the darker version. So what I need to do, so I think these are just too dark. What I need to do though is just jump back into Mari. Jump back to our base layer down here and just re-import the new texture map, the correct one. And it's in the version 2 folder. That one there. Now we just need to re-export it again. As main steps painted. Jump back into Photoshop. Reopen. Let me just close. Close these down, reopen the right one. And that's better. I still may have to do a gamma correction, but just let me save it out as this and then we'll check it. So back to a PNG. Oh, sorry, Android Lost. It took me a while to see your message. Yes, that's Mari, Android Lost, that you see me working in, painting up the textures. I'm working in Mari, yep. Sniper Girl says, would be kind of awesome if I got offered a job while working on the current art test. Not that I think it would happen that way, but it would be awesome. Well, you never know. Not saying it couldn't happen that way. Android Love says, it's an older version, I'm guessing? No, it's the latest version of Mari. It is the very latest version of Mari. Why do you think it's an older version, Android Lust? I'm just waiting for this to finish saving out. Again, you can't see it's behind me, that little blue graphic, little blue bar down there. That's Photoshop saving out. When that disappears, it's saved. No, it's the latest version though, Android Lust. Mari 4.5 version 1, I think. Don't quote me on that. Android Lust says, I guess 1080p versus your resolution makes a huge difference. You'll remember that my resolution can fit 4 1080p screens into it. So, yeah. Okay, let's jump back into Max. The color looks correct. Just wanted to give the steps a little bit more interest, you know, make them a little bit more interesting. They were just looking a little bit too monochromatic. So just adding a bit of dirt and grime here and there, just to give it a bit more interest, I guess. Make them look a little bit more well-worn. There we go. Okay. Yep, I just wanted to make sure it had loaded it up correctly, and it has. Let's do a quick save here. So yeah, remember too with Mari though, you can rearrange those panels in whatever orders you want. You can dock them into each other or dock them beside each other, or keep them floating, so if you don't want to see them, they don't have to be there. Lots of different options with Mari. But yes, I am using the latest version of Mari. You can't see it, it's actually hidden by my bar, but it's version 4.5. It's 4.5 version 1, which they released, I believe, in March of this year. That was the last version I think that they released so far. They generally do a couple of point upgrades during the year, the Foundry of the software. Snappy Girl says, yeah, 4K art is the only way to do it. That's right. 4K or go home. Android Lust says 4.5 version 2 is out. When did they release that, Android Lust? I thought, because I checked their website not that long ago, and it was still at 4.1. Yeah, 4.5 version 1. Android Lust says, I recently downloaded it, but I'm sure they 4K make it look drastically different, because I can't imagine between 4.5 V1 and V2 they would have made that much of a difference to the interface or anything. Those point releases, they don't generally do a lot of changes. Oh, you downloaded it last Wednesday. It was about 4 or 5 weeks ago I checked, so maybe they have done an update, because they do usually do a couple of updates every year. So, and the version 1 update was back in March, January, February, yeah. So they were due to release a new one. I'll have to check into it. So what have we got left to texture up if we jump back into Max? There's just a few bits and pieces here I want to work on. I want to work on the top rings here, so let me select something so we've got something to lock on to. These rings, I want to dirty them up, the gold rings here and here. And I want to also dirty up these little corner pieces here, because they're just looking a little bit clean. So we've got the 2 rings, the corner pieces. I don't know really there's anything else I want to texture up on it. Remember too, we're reusing, for these corner pieces, we're reusing the same texture for all of these corner pieces. So tomorrow, I think, when I start dirtying this up, I have to be sure that I don't make anything look too unique, because it's going to be noticed then that we're repeating the same texture over and over again. Like I said, you could get around that by creating a couple of different versions, but because I want to bring this model into the game engine for the game, I don't want to start introducing more and more and more and more textures. So we must reuse the texture, so I must make sure that that I don't paint it up to look too unique, that it's just a generic dirt layer. But I think we might leave it there for today, guys and girls. I do want to thank you all though very much for hanging out with me and for watching. I will be back on again tomorrow. We'll pick up where we left off here. I think tomorrow is the last day we've got scheduled for Mari, so we'll finish off texturing, overpainting the dirt layers on our different bits and pieces tomorrow in Mari, so that when I come back next week, we can start working directly with Eon View and doing an environment stuff. So tomorrow Mari, and then on Monday next week it'll be Eon View. See you bright and early tomorrow morning. Good Android Lust. I hope all you guys and girls have a great night, great day, great evening, whatever time it is, wherever you are. I will be back on again tomorrow. We'll be working in Mari. We'll be doing some overpainting. And then the plan next week is to start working in Eon View to do some beauty renders. You guys take care. Stay safe. And I will see you all tomorrow. See you guys.